Not anyway. He's Get Dat Shoota.
Dude, do you have to answer the phone like that every single time I call you?
You mean you Umis answer your phone a different way?
Haha.
Yeah?
I was thinking, you know we both do this YouTube thing, yeah? Well, I've got a channel, you've got a channel. Why don't we do a challenge?
Challenge?
Yeah, something together. A collaboration.
What's that then?
We were talking and you mentioned a while back maybe some type of a painting challenge. Sounds like a really damn good idea. Will you stop talking like an orc? What's the ground rules for this? We're going to do it. How are we going to do it?
So a 1 hour challenge.
Priming, not included in the time. 1 hour, we paint the same mini, same base, and we see where we get after that.
We're just going to paint the thing for an hour?
Yeah.
Alright then. I'm down like a clown, Charlie Brown.
Let's do this. And you, YouTube, you stop earwigging on our conversations, and I'll see you after this. Okay, so we know what the game is, we know what we're doing. Let's just crack on with it. Right, well I'm already at the painting desk, so top down time, time lapse. And welcome back to another video, thanks for joining me. So we're going to be working on a 1 hour painting challenge today. The mini is from Titan Forge and it's from the Amazons and Ogres collection, I believe. It's a really cool little mini. I've been a subscriber to their Patreon for a while now, and it's always a good source of great minis that I wouldn't normally paint, so it's a great palette cleanser. So I'm doing this challenge over with Will from Get Dat Shoota. Check his channel out if you've not already. Give him a subscribe. He does some really great down-to-earth basic tutorials and some amazing scenery building. So yeah, definitely give him a follow. This is a little bit different from what I normally do. It is literally a 1 hour speed paint. So we started off with a mini, give it a zenithal highlight. That wasn't included in the time, and then it was literally a 1 hour timer set, as you can see up there on the screen, and we just knocked them out. I was a little bit intimidated, if I'm absolutely honest. I wasn't overly convinced I was going to be able to do something that I would be happy with inside of an hour, but I think it turned out alright. So I used a couple of different techniques to what I normally use. If you're interested in those, do let me know down in the comments and maybe I can put together a video on the individual ones that I used. But as always, I'm using pretty thin paints here, and I used a little bit of airbrush work. You'll notice there at the beginning, the entirety of the base was all airbrushed. So what are we doing? Well, I didn't really know what an Aztec Amazon was supposed to look like colour-wise, and I wanted to do a little bit different to what I normally do, so I went for a darker skin tone. I'm normally used to painting Caucasian skin tones. Not really got much experience, but that's something that I definitely wanted to broaden my horizons on, so I took this as an opportunity to try that. Colour-wise, I wasn't sure. I looked at some reference photos before I actually started the challenge, and it seemed that greens and reds was a good way to start, with a small amount of blue, quite high saturated, to just bring it out. So that's what I went with. That worked pretty well against the skin tone, but I wanted to contrast against the base with those sandy textures that you often see, the rich golden hues that you associate with Mexico. In my head, that's what it was. It wasn't an Amazonian as such. The iconography on there, the snakes, really I found reminiscent of Aztecs and Incas, so that's why I went with it. What's inspired the colour palette. I got everything blocked in to start off with, and then I started thinking how I could enrich things, give it a little bit more definition, and obviously the easiest thing to do, the fastest thing when you're working against the clock, is to give it a wash. So there were several washes that I used in particular areas. Of note was the magic juice that is Citadel's Null Oil, and then I went back in with some Agrax Earthshade to tie all the skin tones, the reds together, and give a little definition in the recesses. And then once that was done, that was the majority of the work out of the way then. It was time to make a couple of the details pop. Now, I wasn't overly convinced at this point in the process that I was going to be able to do something that I thought would work together. The blue did seem a little bit oversaturated. I really thinned that down and just got it in a small number of places. So in the middle of the shield, there's a little diamond motif. You'll see that at the end when we have a look at the finished shots, and on the headdress, and a little bit on the weapon, whatever that is. The weapon was the only part that I didn't finish to a standard that I was happy with. It's got some type of blade with stitching, and I totally forgot about it if I'm absolutely honest. Now, the skin did turn out pretty well, I think. It's not 100%, but what you're going to get inside of an hour. As it got to the 10-minute mark, I was starting to get a little bit worried, and so I started to clean things up, get some highlights on there, and just make certain parts of the miniature pop. As with all minis, you kind of want to draw the attention to a certain point. So if you look at the colour motif and how I'm coming up in terms of the colour temperature towards the centre, I'm trying to draw people into the face. That headdress is really highly detailed. It's a fantastic sculpt for the size of it, and the fact that it's 3D printed, even more impressive because, yeah, I wouldn't have really known. It is a very nice mini to paint. And we're coming to the end now, so I'll leave it there. Let me know what you thought about this down in the comments. Is there anything that you would recommend that I could have done to get a better finish inside of an hour? Would you like to see me do more of these paint challenges? Let's have a conversation, let me know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, guys, and do give me a thumbs up, and I hope you enjoy the montage at the end. I'll see you next week. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. It was really good fun to collaborate with another YouTube miniature painter. Don't forget to head on over to Will's channel, Get Dat Shoota, see what he came up with. Let us know down in the comments which you think is best. Did we do well? Did we not do well? Maybe should we do a different challenge next time? What do you guys think? Let's have a discussion. If you liked the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. After all I want to do is make high quality content and give something back to a community that's given me so much. But remember, guys, if you're gonna do crap, make sure it's plastic. See ya!